Have you ever heard someone say that Christianity and science are incompatible? I have actually said that in the past or thought that, and I've definitely heard the idea expressed by both Christians and atheists. I think that there are a couple of big ideas for why this is. And on the atheist side, I've heard the idea expressed that Christians or believers of any kind use religion to help understand the things that science has not yet explained, but that one day science will explain away any need for a God. And one kind of example of this is that the ancient Greeks, they had their slew of gods who they worshipped, and one of them was Zeus, who they believed controlled lightning. And now, of course, we know that lightning is actually just a buildup of positively and negatively charged molecules in a cloud. So again, the thinking extends that because some things have been explained away, then one day all things will be explained. Science can one day explain all things away, and can explain everything, really. And then on the Christian side, I have seen slow adopters of science, a fear of science being incompatible with the way they interpret scripture, scripture's description of the natural world. And one example of this is that previously everybody, Christians, non-Christians, atheists, used to think that the earth was fixed, that it didn't spin. Well, science started showing that the earth did in fact spin, and Christians were slow to adopt this, in particular because there's this one psalm that says that God set the earth on its foundation so that it should never be moved. And Christians interpreted this literally instead of poetically, and so they were reluctant to adopt that. And now, of course, everyone believes that the earth spins. There's plenty of evidence, but we do see other areas where Christians are slow to adopt scientific consensus, and their mistake is that they could be using science to inform their interpretation of scripture rather than their personal interpretation of scripture to inform the world. So that can be problematic. But with those two ideas, like neither one is quite right. Like I just explained, that for Christians it's problematic to ignore science when really it could just inform. And for atheists to assume that because science can explain some things, that it can explain all things, or explain away all things. But really science is a gift for everyone to use. Science is really just making assumptions, or rather making observations about the natural world, and then turning those observations into assumptions or rules about how the natural world works. One example of this is here. I have got a glass of water here, and science can tell me that this is a liquid, that it's transparent, that every molecule of water is made up of 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen atoms. That, whenever I heat up this water, it's going to boil when it hits 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And whenever I cool it down, it's going to freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But science can't tell me everything. Like it can't tell me, or rather it can't tell you why it's here right now, why it's in this room. Only the person who put the water in the room can tell us why it's here. And in this case, it was me, because I thought I might get thirsty, which I am. So do you see how both things are true at the same time? Like the scientific information is true, while also the things that science can't tell us are true. And when we put them together, we have a more comprehensive view of that water. Well, in the same way, science and Christianity can complement each other. They can give us a more full picture for the reality that we're living in now. In the description, I've linked to books by 2 authors who have kind of come to that same conclusion as me, that science and Christianity are quite compatible, and they talk about some of these issues in their books. John Lennox, his book is, I think it's called The 7 Days That Divide the World. And then Hugh Ross's book is Why the Universe is the Way It Is, or How the Universe is the Way It Is, one of those. But I highly recommend you check them out if science interests you, or if you're curious how Christians can be rational, considering all the science. But if you have any other questions about this topic, please put them in the comments. If you have questions about another topic related to Christianity, put those in the comments and I'll try to answer them in a future video. And just be kind, because there's a real person reading those comments. That's me. And then if you want to see my answers in future videos, go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you later. Thank you.